Rodney Brooks, the legendary roboticist who co-founded iRobot and spent decades at MIT, has delivered a brutal reality check to the booming humanoid robot industry, declaring that the billions of dollars pouring into companies like Tesla and Figure represent pure fantasy thinking that will never achieve mass production. Brooks's scathing assessment comes as the humanoid robotics sector reaches unprecedented heights, with Figure recently securing over $1 billion in funding at a staggering $39 billion valuation in September 2025. The global humanoid robot market, valued at $2.92 billion in 2025, is projected to explode to $15.26 billion by 2030, fueled by major tech companies racing to develop human-like machines that Brooks argues are fundamentally flawed. Brooks specifically targets the approach favored by Tesla and Figure, which attempts to teach robots dexterity by showing them videos of humans performing tasks. He calls this pure fantasy thinking, highlighting a critical limitation that investors appear to be ignoring. The core problem lies in human anatomy itself. Human hands contain approximately 17,000 specialized touch receptors packed into a space smaller than a smartphone, a level of tactile sophistication that no current robot comes remotely close to matching. While machine learning revolutionized speech recognition and image processing, those breakthroughs built on decades of existing technology for capturing the right data. We don't have such a tradition for touch data, making the current approach to humanoid robot development fundamentally flawed from the start. Brooks raises serious safety concerns about full-sized walking humanoid robots, which require massive amounts of energy to remain upright and become dangerous when they fall. According to physics principles, a robot twice the size of current models would pack 8 times the harmful energy when falling, creating significant safety hazards in real-world environments. The energy requirements for bipedal stability are enormous, and the inherent instability of walking on 2 legs creates constant risks. Unlike wheeled or multi-legged robots that can be designed for stability, humanoid robots must constantly balance and correct their position, requiring complex control systems and creating points of failure that could lead to dangerous situations in practical applications. The warnings come amid a frenzy of investment in humanoid robotics that appears disconnected from technical realities. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has claimed the company's Optimus robot could eventually account for 80% of Tesla's value, with projections of achieving a $25 trillion market capitalization. Figure's recent funding round, led by Parkway Venture Capital with participation from NVIDIA, Intel Capital, and other major investors, reflects widespread confidence in the sector's commercial potential. However, Brooks argues this confidence is misplaced, with market projections of $15 billion by 2030 being overly optimistic given the fundamental technical limitations of humanoid designs. The disconnect between investment enthusiasm and engineering reality represents a significant market inefficiency. Brooks predicts that successful humanoid robots in 15 years will actually abandon the human form entirely, instead featuring wheels, multiple arms, and specialized sensors rather than attempting to replicate the general purpose but limited human hand. Wheels provide stability and energy efficiency that human bipedal walking cannot match. Multiple arms allow for specialized tool use rather than attempting to replicate the general purpose but limited human hand. Specialized sensors can be optimized for specific tasks rather than attempting to replicate the broad but imperfect human sensory system. This directly challenges the fundamental premise driving billions in current investments that prioritize human-like appearance over practical functionality. Brooks isn't alone in questioning the timeline for humanoid robot adoption. Prominent robotics investor Chris Camillo, who turned $20,000 into $60 million investing in robotics, warns that deployment challenges are being underestimated by investors. The perception that manufacturing capacity is the key bottleneck for humanoid robots is misguided. Integration challenges at companies like Walmart and FedEx will require years of strategic work before humanoid robots can be incorporated into real-world operations. The real bottleneck isn't manufacturing capability, but rather the complex process of integrating radically new technology into existing workflows and environments. This integration challenge is often underestimated by investors, focused on technological breakthroughs rather than practical deployment considerations. The criticism carries particular weight given Brooks's track record. His pioneering work in behavior-based robotics at MIT in the 1980s led directly to the algorithms powering modern autonomous systems, from Mars rovers to the millions of Roombas navigating homes worldwide. As one industry observer noted, when he calls something impossible, investors should listen. Brooks's critique suggests that the current investment frenzy in humanoid robotics may represent one of the largest misallocations of capital in tech history, driven more by science fiction appeal than engineering reality. His alternative vision of practical, task-optimized robots rather than human-like machines offers a more realistic path forward for robotics development, prioritizing what works over what looks futuristic in promotional materials.